person, and welcome to the I Ching Cafe and our weekly I Ching overview, last one for June, for the week commencing the 26th of June 2023. Last week we had Hexagram 30, the radiance, shining brightly, illumination, clarity, seeing in the peripheral vision things that we hadn't yet seen before, cutting through all the veils to see truth, to see in a new way, and to broaden our light and to radiate and to shine brightly for others. Plus a new journey, the Wanderer, Hexagram 56. We were on a new journey last week. Perhaps you were traveling in the flesh, or perhaps there were new experiences that you were stepping into, that you felt like a stranger in a strange land. And the Hexagram came to help us understand how to be a great traveler, how to be alert and awake and culturally sensitive, and to travel really well. What happened for you last week? What did you see in your peripheral vision outside that campfire ring of light as your bonfire built up? Where did you feel your energy radiating and expanding? What made your energy expand? Get more of that into your life. Right. This week, what are we being asked to pay attention to? Our first hexagram for this week, our main flow of change that we are tapping into and working is hexagram 31, influence. We are influencers. I spoke about that when we had this hexagram before. This hexagram is known as the courtship hexagram. We've got a couple that talk about how we evolve as marriages, the marriages in our lives. This one is the dating cycle up front before there's a commitment, where there's lots of excitement, lots of attraction, lots of energy, lots of things that are making us feel connected and influenced. What is drawing us forward? And this hexagram reminds me of many, many years ago. I decided on a whim, I read this article about a particular type of facilitation technique called Lego Serious Play, and I was working as a facilitator, and I heard about this way of using Lego to develop strategic thinking and build teams, and something in my brain, literally I can't even describe how weird it was. I felt like these synapses inside my brain go swink, and actually in my brain when I read about this, and the synapses just connected, and it was like, I have got to do this thing. The problem was that the course was in Germany, very far from me, and so I went and booked my course, booked my ticket, jumped on a plane, and returned with kilograms and kilograms of Lego. And this idea, of this symbol that I'm sharing with you is really a way to understand this idea of influence. Something is calling to us. There's attraction. So it might be sexual attraction, physical attraction, love attraction. Those things might be, all the great excitement in the week. Something comes up for you. That's great. But for most of us, that might not be the case, all right? It might be something else that is kind of inspiring us. That synapse that's going, this is attraction. I got to have this thing. And so when we work with this hexagram, the changing lines give us a little bit of advice around whether the attraction that we're after is good for us, or there's issues, or how to work with this idea of attraction. But it's that energy, that's life-affirming energy of like, oh, it's so exciting, it's new and it's fresh, and you're, all your senses are alive. We've all been in that attraction phase with somebody, we know the feeling. So this week, there's something that's calling to us, it might be a love interest, but there's something that's calling to us, something that is trying to connect with us. And what we need to do is we need to just be open to what is the influence, right? What is that thing that is synapsing? What do we suddenly start thinking about this week or obsessing about this week? What pops into our mind? Something that we've always wanted to do, or something we feel a deep affinity and connection to, that is now online and coming to bring us some information. And so we work with it by being aware of what the attraction is, just being conscious. Are we going down the right road here? Or is my, my physical body taking me down an avenue from excitement that really shouldn't go, right? Whatever it is, It's just being conscious. What is the attraction, And understanding it's the excitement of the startup energy, seeing it in context, all right? It's the excitement of the process. It's the attraction and the influence that is drawing us forward, that is speaking to us. And we have to just be conscious of it, all right? And work with it and realize this energy is here at the startup and really is about like being with like, okay? Besides what I might have said about, all the synapses and the nerve endings all being very excited, this is really about what belongs together, coming together, okay? Finding that mate, connecting with something meaningful, having a book that you're reading that just, makes your eyes pop out. It's so amazing. It's so inspiring, okay? These are the types of things that we can work with this hexagram. They are life-changing, okay? They are inspiring creative flows to come and bring us a reconnection back to life, back to ourselves. It is wonderful. We have to understand what it is, the upfront attraction to something. Can it last? Is it a marriage potential? Who knows? But let's be conscious and focused on how it is drawing us forward and not get carried away with it without using some clever thinking and some awareness just to temper what we might be tempted to run away with. Okay, so one changing line in the 6th position. This is a culmination point, okay? Lines 1 is a beginning. Line 6 is a culmination. And this particular changing line is a little tricky for this hexagram. And it talks about the influence of the mouth and the jaw and the tongue. Okay, this is the jabber, 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 jabber. Okay, so this is the risk of being influenced by something and just talking about it and okay. And what happens is eventually we run out of words and then we're like, okay, now what? Okay, do we have to trick back a little bit? Okay, retract our steps a little bit? Have we said too much? Okay. Have we said things to try and influence others? Because this hexagram is also about how do we influence others? Can we manipulate people? Of course we can. So be aware this week, all right, of what comes out your mouth, okay, because it can get you into trouble. Trouble in the sense of saying too much, okay, letting the cat out of the bag, okay, there's like a surprise party and blah, 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 okay, and then that just goes off, all right, and everyone knows about it. Or things like just passing on information in your business, in your team that's not appropriate or not shareable just yet or not ripe yet, okay? Or just being very noisy, okay, and saying too much too soon and doing it to influence or to look better, to feel better. Oh, we've all done this before. And this week we are being asked to pay attention to this. There's something in our words that can unravel a little bit of what we're doing, and we're being asked to not be overly carried away and attracted by the things that come out of our mouths or the things we want to say. Just have a little bit of a filter. Think before you speak. Make sure that while you are saying it, are you giving this gossip because you want to curry favor with the other person? Why is it coming out your mouth? Why are you saying these words? Why is it relevant? And so let's just temper our words and our speaking this week. Whether that's a written speaking or a verbal speaking, it's all the same thing. Now, our second hexagram, as we work with our main 31 influence and this changing line in the 6th position, our second hexagram is 33 retreat. So perhaps because we've said too much, we need to retreat from something. Okay, we've overspoken and we need to pull back from what we were saying. Okay, so part of this week, retreat is the hexagram where strategically pulling back from something is the highest and best thing to do. It is strategically correct. Okay, so there's something that we're pulling back from. We're either doing that for a time period, just as an invading force on the field pulls back, all right, or any force on the field pulls back from whoever the conflict is with, to lick the wounds, regroup, okay, realizing that perhaps we are not strategically positioned to do this thing, taking some time out to come back out and do it again in a better shape. So retreat, taking time out, rethinking, okay, all the words, reevaluate, rethink, retreat. That is what this week is asking us to pay attention to. So I would think that maybe as we work with this idea of hexagram 31 influence and this jabber, okay, with line 6, that there's going to be some things where we realize what we felt attracted to are actually not good for us, and so we need to find a way to get out of them. Okay, maybe we've said yes to too many things, and now we have to find a way to get out of all the yeses and find time to regroup. Maybe you have been spending too much time with lots of other people, and now you've said yes, 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 oh, I'll be there, no problem, no problem, I'll help with that. And then suddenly you realize, I need to, pull back from some of these things. I need to retrace my steps and just have a time out. So it's a week of being inspired. It's a week of being influenced and being excitable. Okay, this is wonderful energy for us to work with. Be careful of our words, right? How much we say, what we say. And of course, find a way to pull back from the things that perhaps you've committed to or you said yes to, or that you, perhaps not in this week, but before, that it's just not on the mark anymore. Okay, you're just needing a breather, or you're needing a rethink, or you're needing to reevaluate a direction on something. Take those steps back. And you might find that which is not yours, you can say no to, because you've taken a little bit of a step back of the things that were attractive in the past that got your attention and you felt were really important and you must do them. And now you realize, maybe that's not the alliance we need anymore. Maybe that strategy is not that useful. Let's just take a step back. An interesting week for us to work with as we round out June and we dip into the beginning of July. And of course, that means that July's monthly overview, crazily so, is here. So do keep your eyes open for the monthly episode as it drops. Thank you so much for being here with me. Like and share if it was meaningful to you. Of course, thank you for that in advance. And join us on the regular by subscribing or following on the podcast version. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you soon.